good with everybody? It's your boy John Smooth. Crazy weather phenomena explained, right? And here I have a map of the U.S. river system 1400, right? We're gonna take a look at it, and it basically shows all the rivers, not of the 1400s, but 1870, and this is all I could really find on Google of a river system map, right? And if we think about weather, right? Weather is in itself, right? Seasons, right? Fall, you have spring, you have fall, summer. No, it's spring, summer, fall, winter. I think there's basically four seasons, right? So let's search it up. Different seasons. Right, so you have spring, summer, fall, and winter, right? So going back to the river map, right? It's basically the land trying to rehydrate itself after the building of dams. Let's go to this. Dams, right? And these river systems, going back to the river map, it flows, right? It flows all throughout the whole entire land. You can go to the river and you can go to every single piece of the land through that one entrance, right? But as things dry up, you can't really do that now, right? It's impossible because roads are built over these rivers, and this system is basically unsustainable, right? It's basically, I hate to say it like this, but being in different college classes for technology, and looking at different facets of how this thing really works out and plays out. You can't build roads over rivers, right? You can't do this stuff because look, it's like a blood clot in your veins, right? It's gonna be so many malfunctions within the system that are evident, right? And it will show. Here we have an oil rig. These oil rigs are getting vital oils out of the seas, out of the lands. And they also have mineral rigs that get vital minerals out of the lands, out of all kind of stuff, to make military weapons, to make all kind of evil weapons that the government wants to make underground. So here we have rivers in the U.S. You got different ones here, Mississippi, just examples here. You got roads. And here I watched like 30 seconds of this video, but I want to play it just to have an example. Like, this is 2005, stories from the Dust Bowl, right? And it's gonna basically give you all a feel, right? Because after these dams and factories and things are built, these rich guys, they're not suffering from this. We're gonna be the ones that suffer every 50 to 800 years, 80 years. They start wars, they start these crazy weather phenomena to create new technologies. They go in labs and create viruses. They go in labs and create weapons of mass destruction. And there's been many ETs that have been flying over weapons of mass destruction and shutting these things down. So we're basically going to get a feel of how, like, after these factories and dams are built, it basically dries out the land, and nature has to do all this crazy weather phenomena in order to try to rehydrate the land after we're sucking out all the water, all the minerals, all the oil for unnecessary purposes that we shouldn't be doing. Because let's go back to this, right? They could have water-powered engines, right? But here we have inventive water-powered engine or water powered car died screaming they poisoned me, right? This is a real deal story. He literally had a car that was powered off of water, right? And adding on to that point as well, us having these water powered cars, we wouldn't be so dependent on gas, on these minerals that are so, or even these electric cars. I mean, they have uh, minerals that are literally, you know, people have to die to get those metals that build those electric cars, those batteries. I mean, kids are dying. They're having to go into caves. They're having to go into 30 feet, hundreds of feet underground to get these metals. And people think it's just a joke, it's a game. But this guy right here, he could have saved millions of lives in order for people not having to have insufficient minerals in our cars these days, right? We could be water powered cars. And, you know, they would rather suck the minerals out of our planet and us ruin our planet so we can be dependent on the government instead of us rehydrating our planet with better ways, right? I mean, we gotta wake up. Let's wake up. Crazy weather phenomenon explained. Let's get back to the video. The mass wouldn't be dependent on the government if they had water powered cars, right? But if they didn't get rid of this guy, right? If they didn't kill this guy, they're like, all right, we gotta have gas cars, because the rich guy's perspective is like, all right, we're gonna have gas cars because they won't be dependent on our factories. They won't be dependent on our dams if we let this guy out ahead and create a water powered car. That would have people thinking like, wait, why are we even paying for cars? We should be able to build our own vehicles and things of that nature, right? If we have water powered cars, it would give people a whole different mindset of self-sustainability, self-mobility, self-sufficiency, right? This is why they X this guy out, because they want to suck the minerals out of this planet. They want us to be dependent on factories. They don't want us to have this, right? They don't want us to have jungles with fruit trees. They don't want us to have this. They want us to have food factories where we go and we don't really appreciate it. We just like, oh yeah, I work for this, you know, get out of my way, you know. But with this, you're working together, right? You're coexisting. Everyone is planting the seed. Everyone is creating new trails with farm tools. Farms, you know, you're living on a big prairie, and you're taking care of corn, big amounts of yield, right? And they don't want us doing that. They want us like this, dependent on factories, dependent on dams, right? And this is not a good way to be, right? And this is crazy weather phenomena explained, right? They literally want to put us in the way of their karma, basically. These evil people that are making these weapons of mass destruction, they literally want to put us in the way of their karma. And it really isn't cool. You know, they could easily stop wars. They could easily fund, you know, jungles and people that are wanting to be dependent on nature, not dependent on factories, dams, and oil rigs. But they would rather demonize these nations to make these nations vulnerable, so they can traffic these nations. They can slowly push drugs into these nations to make them give away their nature and make their nature look at it like a toy, right? So this is crazy weather phenomena explained. We're gonna see a lot of things play out, you know, and crazy weather phenomena explained. Dams, oil rigs, they dry out the land. And as simple as that, And the land has to try to rehydrate with crazy weather. And the government, they can't keep playing nature forever. Just like how cells, they get divided in the body by parasites. The parasites can say, hey, let's go against this group of cells, this powerful group of cells. Those cells divide, multiplies, and all kind of different stuff. And then, the process goes up and down like a wave, right? Evil won't prevail forever. And this is just how things grow, and parasites reveal what cells need to do to do things that are needed, necessary, right? To have a sustainable system, not a system that destroys the planet, because all these things are pointing out to people what we need to fix. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, it's over, let's blame it on him, and let's put a guy on the cross. This is what we've been doing for too long, and it's not cool. How about we just take out the real enemy with the bank owners, the factory owners? We shouldn't be killing these people that are dependent on nature. We shouldn't be doing these things. It's not cool. It's not cool to throw people under the bus to make someone look good. But going back to that point of how parasites, they get cells to go against other cells in the body, and then eventually the cells realize they're getting played by the parasites, right? Being the reptilians, being the greys, being the royal families, those are the parasites, right? The cells being the mass. The powerful good cells still taking care of the planet, being the ones still fighting to be dependent on nature, being the ones still with rivers and not fully with roads, right? So we're not going to fully kill the planet. We're going to come together. We're going to come together to take out these parasites. And it's John Smooth. I'm out. Crazy weather phenomena explained. Let's stop destroying our planet. Let's be aware, awake about why the hell there's floods going on, there's hurricanes going on, all this stuff is going on, and the government is laughing because they want to create weapons and create all this stuff, but it causes a lot of mayhem on our planet, right? It causes the mass to suffer. But making that point, let's play this video for maybe 2 to 5 minutes. It's John Smooth, I'm out. Peace.
It was tough.
But this is like after they build dams, right? I mean, look at this. The sand, the topsoil, it literally turns into dust because the hydration of the land literally just goes everywhere, Let's understand this, y'all. Let's come together. I'm out. Peace.
It's just kind of like the world coming to an end.
They always talk about the...
It was tough. It was bad. It's just kind of like the world coming to an end.
They always talk about the dust, but I said it was the dirty 30s. It was dirt.
Recent dust storms and tragedies have brought back memories from one of the most difficult periods in American history. These are Stories from the Dust Bowl.
This program is funded in part by the Kansas Humanities Council, a nonprofit cultural organization promoting understanding of the history, tradition, and ideals that shape our lives and build community.
Records exist that severe dust storms have taken place for many decades and recently occurred in northwest Kansas, May of 2004.
Kind of started blowing somewhere west of Burlington, Colorado. Hit the northwest Kansas area.
Visibility was Burlington, Colorado. Hit the northwest Kansas area. Visibility was very low. It came up suddenly, and
So we will literally think it's end times, right? But it's literally these dams, these oil rigs drying out the land, and the government thinks that we can just keep drying out nature. We can just keep, let's go back to this picture here. They think that we can just keep destroying jungles with fruit trees. We can just keep destroying farms and replace them with factories, and there won't be any repercussions. There won't be any dust bowls. There won't be any hurricanes. There won't be any tornadoes. Oh yes. Like, the perspective that the U.S. is being given right now is very ill-informed, and it's not just the U.S. It's everyone as a whole, the nation. Like, we're not being given the right perspective of how to coexist with the planet. We're literally being given jobs. I'm not saying jobs are bad. You gotta do what you gotta do, make your money. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're literally being given a perspective that literally we're helping the planet and everything, but we're destroying the planet, literally. Like packages and fruit, the peels are literally biodegradable, but now we have packages that can't be broken down for hundreds of years. We're literally destroying our planet, and the government could stop this, right? Water engines, they have all these different things that have been created to have a self-sufficient system, but they choose not to have these things in order to keep the mass dependent on factories, keep the mass dependent on oil rigs, keep the mass dependent on dams, right? Because they want to control the nutrients, the vitality of everything, but they should just let it flow, right? And everything should grow. Going back to the fruit trees, right? Everything should just grow without all this crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, things shouldn't be, all this stuff where we're building military bases, we're building schools, we're building churches, acting like we're helping people. Oh yeah, we gotta help these animals, but they're dependent on nature. Who's really the crazy people? Nature is gonna have a wrath for us if we're not careful. If we just keep destroying these people that are dependent on nature. ETs are flying over nuclear silos, shutting them down. We think there's going to be no repercussions for this. Nature has repercussions. ETs have repercussions for what's coming. There's beings waking up to what's going on. There's all kind of things happening, right? And there's people waking up as a unity consciousness, not just as a consciousness as, oh yeah, my race is better than yours. My race is the only race that is being oppressed. No, we're all being oppressed. We're all being played by the ETs, reptilians, Greys, royal bloodlines. There's royal bloodlines in every single race that sell out their race for technology, right? The mass has to wake up. The mass has to realize we're all being bamboozled, we're all being played. Crazy weather phenomena explained. Let's fund seeds. Let's fund fruit trees. Let's not fund unsustainable things, right? Let's not try to put others down to make others look good. Let's appreciate what's left of nature, what's left of what's fighting for the vitality, the nutrients of the planet. fighting to not have factories, fighting to not have dams, fighting to not have oil rigs, damn it. But it's John Smooth. I'm out. Peace.